Hi, this is Dr. Sean Benzinger with another seminar on fibromyalgia. It's the misunderstood disease and condition, but before we get into the seminar, we want to talk just a little bit about how you can obtain more and more information. Our website is secondopinion.org. Make sure you register for the free newsletter, register friends and family with their approval, so that every week they'll know what book review we're doing, what article exposure and explanation we're tying together with the book, as well as any special education. We will be taking every single nutritional and biochemical element that we can think of over the next 2-year period of time, breaking it down and explaining it to you so that you'll have an idea of what it's about, how it applies, and what it means to you. And then you can make better choices. There are dirty secrets, unfortunately, in the nutrition area as there is in medications as well as there is in the healthcare field, because frankly there has to be a lot of them, because we would be doing a lot better job than what we're doing right now if all these little secrets weren't there. My job is to tell you the secrets. You can make your own choices from there. I don't make your choices for you. My goal is to educate you so you can make your own choices. Empowering the American people to take care of themselves and do a better job is what I think I'm meant to be doing, and I do the best I can with the skills that God has given me. So, fibromyalgia is the seminar for today. Nobody seems to know why. It's kind of, you heard everywhere, let's give you fibromyalgia. There are certain guidelines that are being followed to categorize you. Lots of doctors don't even believe it exists. And unfortunate for those of you that really suffer from fibromyalgia, it's devastating, because actually having your doctor or friends or family and not believe you have the disease, or that you have a condition, or that you even hurt, or that you even feel awful like you don't want to get out of bed that day, is probably more devastating, I think, than the pain that you suffer from and the dysfunction you suffer from having fibromyalgia in the first place. So just get that I understand. And owning a pain center for a 10-year period of time and some surgery centers, I really started to gain greater empathy for something that I knew I didn't understand very well. So fibromyalgia, the misunderstood condition. Studies show patients experience pain faster and more intense. Now the question is why? Hormonal imbalance, emotional stresses, hurts in your life that you've never gotten over. You're always unkind to yourself. If you've not picked up our stress seminar, this is the time you pick up the stress seminar so you understand all the stresses and all the effects on your body, so it starts making sense as to why this big picture seems to happen to you but not to other people that go through the same things. Okay? But we do know pain sensitivity elevates in these situations. But let me ask you something. You hurt every day, all day long, no matter what happens. No matter how hard you medicate, after a period of time the medications don't work anymore. You tell me how you're not going to become sensitive to pain. Seem to think that this research is a little bit silly, but it does seem to happen. The second thing that's really interesting is stress hormones seem to go up very quickly in these people. They're just, wow, major events in their mind or by their actions, they really take aggressively. They take it to heart. They really feel that pain, or they really take seriously everything. You know, the ones that just can't leave it alone? It just never can be okay. Stress hormones in these people seem to elevate very high, so that's why your response is that way. It's not just you. You know how the husband or the wife is saying, you know, you just need to relax. Don't take it so serious. You don't understand. Well, your stress hormones are pushing that. And if you understand that, then we might be able to do something to abate it, because that's what's probably happening. And we know fibromyalgia symptoms are very real. Most are with women, and possibly it's more related to inflammatory tendencies or lifestyles that aren't necessarily good, or stressors that haven't been handled very well, possibly. But that's what we don't know. We just know that there's certain things that if done over a long enough period of time, in my years of experience, seems to help you. And that's what we're trying to do today. So who gets it? 6 million people. That's not a little drop in the bucket. That's as much as the state of Indiana and more. That's a lot of people walking around hurting with fibromyalgia every day. Women, mostly. Some men and some children get it too. We're seeing elevated diagnosis of children or younger adults that we almost never had before. The question is why? Maybe it's our health care. how we're taking care of ourselves, how we're feeding ourselves, nutrient deficiencies, stresses are really high that kids have to suffer from nowadays. Maybe that's a triggering mechanism. And maybe it's all of it together in one big circle. That one probably makes more sense, doesn't it? Ages between 20 and 45, childbearing years. Would some of us say that's the most stressful time of our lives? Probably. 7 times more likely in women. Can happen in men. Men are almost totally ignored when they say they have it because, only women get this. That's why it's kind of frivolous type of disease. Is that true? Absolutely not. Those with lower pain tolerance get this symptom to a point where they are almost debilitated from life. And many of you are very tough. Many of you have had your children without any medication assistance. So how can that be said about you? Okay? Symptoms: widespread joint, muscle, tendon, ligament pain on both sides. Here's how we diagnose it. We diagnose it by making sure you don't have some other disease, basically. Pain is experienced in 18 different places. There's 18 different spots all over the body the doc goes through and pushes on this and pushes on this and pushes back here and pushes here and ow, 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 ow. If you get 11, you get the diagnosis. If you get 10 or less, you don't get the diagnosis. What's it mean? Maybe your insurance will pay something. That's about all it really means. You still are dealing with the symptoms. Whether you have 12 or 10 spots, you still got the symptoms. Some people will say if it's 11 or less, maybe it's myofascial pain syndrome. Is it about the same thing? About the same thing. Sleep disorders. We really find that getting sleep really makes a difference on the progression of this disease, if not the correction of this disease. Muscle stiffness and depression and anxiety many times relate with it, but we've already mentioned in other seminars that we know that if you are in pain for more than a year, that over 90% will start dealing with anxiety or depression because of the discomfort. So is the depression and anxiety the cause of? Not as likely, usually in response to pain. I'm a bad patient. I'm going to tell you right now. My wife can tell you that if in fact, if I'm sick, you might not want to be around me a whole lot. I don't like being sick. I work really hard not to get sick, so when I do, I'm a little disturbed with myself in the first place. I could not imagine dealing with this pain every day, every moment, with almost no glimmer of a future without that pain. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Other symptoms: fatigue, poor sleep, irritable bowel. Maybe we're not absorbing the nutrients that are necessary to heal these areas that cause local inflammation and pain. Anxiety, depression, difficulty concentrating, memory loss, dizziness, tingling of the skin, and other odd sensations. Well, one day it's down here on the big toe and this one over here and it's over here. You tell the doc and he kind of rolls his eyes back in his head and goes, oh, well, yeah, I don't know. If you have it again, call me. That's what kind of happens. PMS symptoms usually are worse. TMJ syndromes will occur. Grinding, clicking, painful up here, lots of headaches. Heart palpitations can occur, headaches, and heightened sensitivity to everything. A book drops, you're 20 feet in the air while everybody else kind of jerks. Possibility. Hypersensitive. Hyper-responsive, maybe. Okay? So here's these symptoms. 11 out of 18 specific spots are positive on both sides. Fatigue is almost always there. And a high spinal fluid level of substance A, which is a pro-inflammatory issue. If you looked at our skin seminar, you'll see that we talk about substance P in relationship to unhealthy skin. So, fibromyalgia may be unhealthy skin because of substance P. Possibility. And there are certain nutritional things that certain dermatologists have put forth that seem to lower substance P. You might want to get that. That might help also. Okay? Something to look at. You might have abnormal growth hormone levels and possibly short-term memory. There's problems with it. You can remember what happened in 6th grade and 8th grade and what happened when you got married and when you had the kids. But, ask me what the name of this person was 15 minutes ago. Guess what? And what's odd is you might remember it a year later. You can't remember it 15 minutes after. Short-term memory. Root causes: sleep disorder. We really find that if we can get you to sleep, if you've not picked up the seminar on sleep, okay, there's like 20 to 25 different action steps that you should assess with not immediately popping the pill that drugs you out so the next morning you are so whacked for the next 3 or 4 hours you can't get, or You use Ambien. We've had some reports that have come out in some of the literature of people getting up at 2 in the morning and just pigging out on food. The point of it is, it's not because Ambien's bad. It's simply that we want you to try to do things at home without causing other potential side effects by controlling it yourself. So maybe get the sleep seminar, if that might be assistive, or go on the website and see if there's any books with any authors, because you're able to, going on the website, you're able to actually listen to the author for 20 minutes, talk about what they wrote, why they wrote it, and frankly, some key components of the book that might be worth it, or watch my video blog that explains kind of the top 5 reasons to read it and what you would get out of it if you did. Then you know you're putting money and time in the right place to get the right things done. Allergies or sensitivity to chemicals. Environmentally, if you've not seen our cancer seminar, you'll find that that's very beneficial in understanding, or just our chemical sensitivity seminar, because lots of chemicals being poured into your home that you don't know about that could be making your immune system a problem that we have not identified yet that ends up causing these symptoms. And I believe that that's a common one, and that really needs to be looked at. These top 2 are really, look at these 2, okay? Such as people who burn regular candles. They don't realize it's paraffin. Paraffin's the bottom of a oil tank, okay? So basically you're burning oil in your house and putting smoke into your house with synthetic candles, with synthetic fumes, and you're making you and your kids inhale this stuff. It's very hard on sinusitis, asthmatics, things like that. That's just one example, but there's lots of other things like that you need to know about. Chemical imbalances with serotonin. That's why sometimes antidepressants need to be used to get you up enough to start concentrating on the other things that are necessary. Do I have problems with those medications? Absolutely not. When used appropriately, with us making sure we're just not tossing you the pill and not dealing with something terrible that happened in college or high school, or somebody left you or hurt you or whatever they did that you never got over. That doesn't get better. I don't care what you do medication-wise. That's not the way to treat you. And every psychologist I've interviewed, and you'll see that as we roll it out on the website month after month after month, we'll come back on and just say, yeah, that's our big concern. People are getting medicated and not getting counseling and not working on the issues that cause the depression or cause the anxiety or cause those things. In other words, treat cause, cover up cause. Maybe we have to treat cause with counseling and medication. But just medication by itself, unless it's severe and it's life-threatening, it doesn't make sense. In fact, it's just poor quality medicine. It just is. Viruses, if you've had recurrent problems, Epstein-Barr viruses, cytomegalovirus, those are issues. Hormone imbalances, if you're on the pill, you're guaranteed to be in it. Just period, you are. Hormone replacement therapy, you're in it, unless it's bioidentical, and usually you're a little bit safer. Phosphates, those who drink sodas have more problems. Uric acid buildup can cause other problems. Overexertion. You are the mother of 5. You're the bread keeper. You're working 3 jobs. I don't know what you can expect of yourself in those situations. I don't know how we can tell you to take 30 minutes apiece and take a vacation for 2 or 3 days and make sure your diet's well. I'm not sure. I just pray that there's churches and people who care about you that can pick up and try to help you, and maybe, just maybe, you might even ask. Root causes, free radical damage, bad diets, poor digestion, detoxification needs to be done in that body. Those tender spots, we know, in the pain center, we found that if we could get them on a good diet, get them taking a few nutrients, and then we would use all the repertoire of physical therapy and chiropractic and medication use and stuff, we had a lot better success than if they didn't do the eat right, nutrients, and basic things. They just did better. Toxic metal. We know that with children, sometimes that can be an issue with some of the things that you'll use. We've got women using topical makeups that have toxic chemicals in them because there's no regulation on these things. You don't know. I got some that's an all mineral-based thing, and they wonder why they're having side effects afterwards, and they get rashes and other things. Possibly toxic metals. Blood sugar imbalances. Eating repetitively during the day on small meals does a better job as long as you're eating good, healthy foods. Sugar balances do play a big role in autoimmune diseases, feeling run down, tired, and having slow healing tendencies. And for you ladies, proteins. For some reason, most women will not eat enough good protein over a period of time to affect them in a healthy way. You need to really look at that. And that doesn't mean all protein. It means just get it up there around 15%, maybe 20%. You're probably going to feel better. Candida, chronic yeast infections or parasitic infections will predispose you to these type of things. And we know nutritional deficiencies, especially minerals. I mean, I have a hard time getting women to even take calcium, magnesium. Magnesium is key in this situation. Manganese, key in this situation, even more so than calcium for this specific area. And structurally, spinal scoliosis or other types of back problems that have never been solutioned that chronically wear you down and create these problems. So there's a lot of stuff there. Let's step into doctor selection. The reason why is, unless you have someone who believes that you have it, you're wasting your time. Number two, we just have to know that they know it actually exists. And they're open-minded about treatment options because they know, whether they've told you or not, they know they don't have any real good answers yet because they don't know what they're treating yet. They're just trying some of the basic stuff that have been tried forever, and they pray it helps you. One thing we know at the pain center is if we used quite a few medications up front and didn't do the other physical therapy and lots of other things, we found that after a while those medications just stopped working. We had to go to higher medications, higher medications, higher medications, and it was harsher and harsher on the body, and we really didn't fix anything. In fact, we just made them addicted to some of those things. Something we don't want to do, okay? And you're looking for a doctor that's willing to find specialists and maybe a team of specialists that'll help you feel better. And those that don't, you're at the wrong doctor's office. Time to replace Doc B and go to Doc C and find somebody who is kind, caring, genuine, and doesn't blame your condition on being a woman. Sorry to say it that way. It's just the way it is. Unfortunately, you're a woman, so of course that's why you have it, okay? Which is a lie. Sleep, it's a must. So make sure you get the sleep seminar so you get those down and get our notes and put it together and make sure that you're doing all you can at home. And don't eat or drink caffeine or beverages except for maybe some water, a light amount, small amount, after 7 or 8 o'clock, okay? Quality bedding. You wake up hurting every morning, you know the bed's probably no good. And because you're pressure point sensitive, you might have to get some of these reflex foam type beds, ones that give to you, some of the air beds, some of the water beds. They still usually do a better job than just a firm mattress with a lot of padding. Those for women, I'm sorry, they just don't work very often. In fact, frequently, I have to tell them that I'm sorry you bought a $1,200 bed, now you need to consider something else. And mostly the reflex foam beds. You find a good quality one and you don't find one that's a chintzer that didn't make a good product. And I almost always hear people come back and say, you know, now if I can find a good pillow, I don't have as much pain in the mornings. And that is exciting, okay? Noise is diminished, including snoring partners. There's mouthpieces that you can fit if they won't wear their CPAP that makes all that noise. Snoring that allows you not to be able to get a good night's rest is something that has to be addressed with your mate, okay? Bedrooms for sleep, period. You need to make sure, get the television out, don't fall asleep to the television. Peaceful, deep REMs of sleep can make all the difference in your quality of life. So you're going to have to take these steps if you want to get over fibromyalgia, the symptom of. Use sleep medications when you have to because you got to get sleep. Avoid triggers. Stressful events, people, and places. You got to rid yourself. You might have to make major lifestyle changes to be able to rid yourself of this terrible condition. We know excess caffeine or other stimulants, guarana, those diet pills you've been using, it's going to be a problem. MSG, if I have MSG, if I go to the Chinese restaurant and I end up with the MSG, guess what? And it's not because anything's wrong against Chinese restaurants. It's just I don't like MSG. It's in many of your seasoning salts. It's in many of your ranch dressings. It's in lots of things. For me, it heightens the stimulation of my nervous system. That night, I'm not going to sleep well. I'll be irritable, edgy, and I just feel like a foggy head. And that's what a lot of people with fibromyalgia feel all the time anyhow. And synthetic sweeteners are something you really need to look at. Alcohol on an excessive basis is a concern, and some of you can't even touch it. It causes problems. Lack of exercise, and we know lack of sleep. 50% of your pain can be controlled by deep breathing and relaxation, period. We know that. So when you're hurting badly, and it's usually when you're upset, and it gets worse as you get more upset, stopping yourself, taking deep breaths in, and relaxing many times will at least diminish the pain. And here's the problem. For those that are just intolerant to pain, this is a tough thing, because the more intolerant you are and the tighter you get, the less oxygen you get, the less you deep breathe, the more intense the pain gets. So, unfortunately, you got a double whammy going on there. So you're going to have to learn aggressively these techniques, because think about it. If I came to you and said, well, here's this magical pill, 50% of your pain goes away, you go, oh my gosh, how much is it? Well, it's $200. I'll pay for that. Why? Pop a pill, it's done. I'm giving you a 50% reduction in pain option that costs you $0. Deep breathing, relax, calm down, take a break, okay? Massage therapy is phenomenal for these situations. Aerobic exercise really starts giving you back your energy, and acupuncture in a good quality acupuncturist office can do wonders of relieving some of the pain in a reasonable price structure that can really help you over long term while you're working on all the other things. Ice and heat therapies, depending on you, everybody's different. One or the other usually helps. Herbal and vitamin remedies. Many of them have been specifically designed. I have one that was specifically made for that one reason. Excellent, excellent stuff. Okay? Anti-inflammatories, painkillers, and possibly Botox injections will have to be used certain times in your care program. Guaifenesin, it's a cough medicine. I think Mucinex, if I'm not mistaken, is the name of it. Guaifenesin has minimal or almost no side effects. It's very safe. Most pharmacists will tell you it's pretty safe to take in pretty good dosage. And some decent research has shown, and you find the right dosage, guaifenesin does wonders in detoxifying your system, by the way, which is interesting, and helping you heal. Cold medication remedies, there are a few that are antihistamine based. Again, long-term use, question whether there's not going to be a problem. We already know about the anti-inflammatory and painkiller drugs over a period of time that can tear up your stomach, cause other problems with your liver. You want to be cautious and careful about those. But there are topical remedies that I love. DMSO, aspirin, menthol, and capsaicin. These are ones that you can get OTC and try. Buy 2 of them, find one that works the best. You might have to buy all 3. Cost you $3 or $4. At least you find something that works, and once it works, you'll know it's going to work every time. And maybe that'll allow you to sleep, because you can just put on this topical cream with no side effects. And in certain cases, as the condition advances and you just haven't found conservative solutions that work, then prescription medications, trigger point injections might have to be considered. Okay? So what else can we do? We've got that hot and cold. Massage, hot tubs. Do wonders if increasing blood flow to those areas, and seems to do a good job. TENS units will work in certain cases. Chiropractic and osteopathic adjustments. If there's malalignments that are associated with the muscle tension and pull and pain, you can get many times temporary relief with these things, but by themselves usually do not correct the problem. Biofeedback, stress reduction, remember that. Deep breathing, nutritional support for anti-inflammatory ends. There's lots of things out there that really help. Vitamins and minerals and acupuncture. There are herbs that are specific to it. Homeopathics, Tai Chi, motion patterns that are safe. You can get little discs on it, put it in, and do it at home if you're not going to go to the health club. But you got to get moving, or you have little chance at long term getting well, unless you're blessed and healed by God's gifts. Magnetic therapy seems to help. Aromatic therapies, which are homeopathic, essential oils that are used. Botox injections have shown really promising. And yoga is very, very helpful. So if we're looking at the nutritional support, so you got something you can start experimenting with, a general multiple vitamin and mineral, that's a good quality one without junk in it. Magnesium, if you read the book, The Magnesium Miracle by Carolyn Dean, and that's D-E-A-N, the Magnesium Miracle, and I think it's in its second edition. Very interesting stuff, something to consider. Malic acid seems to help reduce some of the pains, touch pains that you might feel in your body, about 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams 3 times a day. And 5-hydroxytryptophan helps sleep patterns. These are some of the conservative things you can try again. MSM, okay, is a possibility, as well as SAM-E. B12, probiotics. Remember, on your sheets, all that's written down. So I might go a little fast, but I don't want to bore you to death when it's right there, okay? And thyroid support when warranted. Make sure you work with your physician or alternative healthcare physician to help you. Pancreatic enzymes have been used for years for anti-inflammatory effects. And if that really helps, it's something you can use long term, and as long as you're using a good quality product and it causes little problems. And for the low energy CoQ enzyme. CoQ enzyme is a very important element that helps your body convert energy in each cell of the body. And some people just have a hard time manufacturing and utilizing CoQ10, and you can't imagine. Sometimes you just take that and there's just this big zip of energy and a return to some normal function that you haven't had. CoQ10 is a good option. Acetyl L-carnitine, great for muscle contraction. If you feel weak all the time, acetyl L-carnitine is a great one. Calcium, milk thistle for the liver. Remember, detoxification is a concern in this disease process. Vitamin C, vitamin E, alpha-lipoic acid, one of the strongest anti-inflammatory products you can use with N-acetylcysteine. These are detoxifiers, safe, and do not seem to interfere with any medications I know of. Grapeseed extract has been used for years in this area. NADH, it's a possibility. I don't see its merit too often. It's usually mixed with other types of detoxifiers. Passion flower, valerian root, and olive leaf extract for herbals have been very successful in calming down you if you're in the middle of an anxiety issue. Here's some of the foods you want to get rid of. We want to get rid of acid-producing foods, and we want to encourage alkaline-producing foods. Acid-producing foods, but by the way, the more alkaline we get you, the less pain you have. More acid we get you, I said that wrong. Let's go back. The more alkaline we get you, the less pain you have, and the more acidic we get you, the more pain you have. Okay? So red meats, eggs, saturated fats, bad oils, fried foods, sugar. You're going to eat a lot of sugar, guess what? You're going to have swelling and the pain's going to get worse. You have Starbucks coffee with 500 calories in it, you're probably going to, because guess what you've just done? Bad saturated fats, bad oils, sugar, dairy, and synthetic products. All bad. Refined carbohydrates, same principle. Usually we see in rich white flours have little value to the body and seem to act almost like a sugar push to your insulin level and your inflammation in the body. Gluten-filled foods, wheats, barley. The bread eaters usually have more problems with fibromyalgia pain, just so you know. So you might want to cut it out for 90 days and see how you feel. More caffeine, more pain. Same thing with women that have fibrous breast disease. If there's any tendency there, if you have sensitive breasts at PMS time or during ovulation, caffeine is one of the things you should consider staying away from too, not only for the fibromyalgia, but also the breast pain. And alcohol above 1 to 2 ounces is another issue. Now, allergic foods. If you have certain foods you know you're allergic to and you keep putting in your mouth, what can I say? There's no magical pill of offending your body and expecting it to act as though it's not offended. And nightshade plants. Nightshade plants for Irish, Germans, English, Norwegians, for some reason seem to advance inflammation in the body. Potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant. I know it's a killer, but for some of you, it has a tendency to be an issue, and it can affect other people, but you'll find it has a tendency to affect those more frequently. Here's some of the foods that heal. Anchovies, apples, broccoli, cantaloupe, curry, fish, flax and flaxseed oils. These are wonderful. Garlic, fabulous. Lots of water. Grapefruit seed extract, grapefruit seeds. Just grapefruits and not the seeds. Sorry. What I was trying to allude to is grapefruit, if you're taking medications, grapefruit often interferes with medications, so you have to be careful with that. Not so with oranges and other things, but grapefruit. Just keep that in mind. It can interfere with medications, okay? Grapes, mangoes, nuts, not peanuts. Stay away from those. Almonds, walnuts, things along that side. Oysters, papaya, spinach, and greens, and whole grains. Whole grains are very healthy for you. So here's some of the other supplements to consider. Glucosamine sulfate, MSM, fish oils, multiple vitamins and minerals. Getting your gut in order so that you have good absorption is important. Grapefruit seed extract, niacin, helpful. SAMe we've already mentioned. Selenium and vitamin E. Some of the herbs that we have not mentioned so far: ginger, devil's claw. If you are a female that has hormone issues, we know that devil's claw is highly beneficial to you. White willow is where we used to get aspirin from, but it's in a natural source. Body handles it well, and it doesn't force the kidney to do things it doesn't want to do. Alfalfa, yucca root, boswellia, which is very good. I love to use that frequently on people because it has almost no side effects, has some great benefits, and you can take pretty large doses. Plant sterols, curcumins, think of Indian food. It's very healthy, it's very anti-inflammatory. Actually, Indian food, I've had people say, every time I go on Friday night and eat that Indian food, I feel great for 2 days. Why? Curcumins and cumin. These are great anti-inflammatories, okay? General mineral, vitamin C, boron, which if you are osteoporotic, you have osteoporosis, boron's one of those key elements. So if you've got both these conditions, you might want to consider it. Chlorella, DMSO and arnica gels. This is what I was alluding to earlier with some of the other creams. I like DMSO and arnica gels that you usually have to get through your doctor, but usually are very safe and really work to control pain and inflammation. And DHEA in special cases. I don't think of it as such a wonder product as it has been suggested, but I think it does help. Fibromyalgia, a bad condition with lots of symptoms that have lots of causes, and you will have to work through each one of those until you find options to be able to take care of it. If what has occurred to you is physical therapy and some medications and sent home, you have not had the full realm of possibilities explained to you, and you need to take back some steps and see if there's something you can do to change quality of life you have, and do not give up. I've seen all too many toss in the towel on this, and once, I always tell them 2 years. 2 years of exercise, good sleeping habits, maintaining your stress at a lower level, good amounts of nutrients and supportive elements, and continue to exercise and eat that really good anti-inflammatory diet, and see where you're at in 2 years. And the ones that just stay with it, about 80 to 90% of the time, all 2 years, it's amazing the life that they get back. It's not 100%, but I've seen high statistics on it. So it's worth it, and I pray that you'll consider it. We'll look for you next time with another seminar at secondopinion.org. Make sure you've registered for the free newsletter. Hopefully that will help and assist you. We'll look for you next time, and may God bless you.